Did you watch the Super Bowl, Russ?
Do I look like somebody who watches the Super Bowl?
No.
No.
I watched the halftime show because it was very me. That was.
In what way? Was that
my era of rap music? That was Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Diddley Dog. The whole crew. We should do that. We're not far from the Super Bowl, though, mate. When you think about it, viewers across the world, check. Celebrity fans, hiya, Daz Sampson. So all we need now is a halftime show. That's all we need. Should we do a meat raffle?
Did someone sing upside down or something? Is that something that I saw, or did I dream that? Somebody do it upside down?
Yeah, 50 Cent.
Oh, right. Was that who it was? Well, right.
Adjusting for inflation, it's 25 cents now. He's changed his name.
Right. And with that, should we run the titles? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, great flick of Alan Armstrong. Oh, what a beauty! Oh, what a beauty! I waited all my life for that. What a screamer!
A wise man on last night's co-commentary said, "Whisper it quietly, but that was the performance of champions." No whispering necessary here because that was the performance of champions. And welcome to the Scarlet War, where we're showing no signs of coming down from the ecstasy pill that is the appointment of Dave Challoner. I'm Nick Lee, and I'm bad at estimating stuff. And with me tonight, it's 23 stone and 7'2" of prime podcast backbone. It's Russ Johnson.
How do? Yeah, I think you've overrated the weight there. I'm not 23 stone, but you know.
No, I did lead up to it by saying I'm bad at estimating stuff. So
right. I'm sorry.
Maybe if you listened.
Yeah. Maybe I should do that once in a while.
Yeah. Give it a go. See how it goes. You know.
I might do. Do you know what? I was watching back on last week's episode, and there are elements where I'm just doing other stuff, like looking at bits and bats, stats and things, and I'm not listening to what you're saying.
My girlfriend does that. So I'm used to it. Just constant, just doing other stuff. Fair enough. To be fair, when I'm talking, I want to do other stuff. So I can't imagine how you must feel.
Yeah, it's horrible, and poor Liam's got to sit through this with us. So yeah, welcome Liam Richardson, media man at Stockport County, debut on the podcast. Thanks for coming, mate. How are you feeling? How are you doing? You a bit tired after last night?
No, thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming. Yeah. 4:30 we got back yesterday to Carrington, so it was a late one, but when you get 3 points, it's always worth it.
Lovely stuff.
Memories of coming back from Brackley and places like that after
Weymouth. I remember going to Weymouth last season and losing, and poor Sam Byrne, I thought he was going to throw himself onto the motorway on the way home. He was at rock bottom. So.
Oh, that's a podcast exclusive. We'll ask him about that when he comes on. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about Cheshunt. We're going to talk about the Bromley win last night. We're going to talk about Miles Hippolyte. We're going to talk about Cody Johnson, probably, and anything else that we can do. We could talk about County. Mainly, though, we're probably going to talk about being top of the league and probably how do we stay there. And obviously, Liam, we will talk to you about your job at County and what that entails. So I won't run any titles. I think we'll just get to it. So the first question that I wanted to ask you, and we'll come on to you a bit more later in depth, but what is it like in the camp at the moment? Because you're obviously close to the players and the management and all that kind of stuff. What is the feeling like around the place?
I've never, I've been here 3 years now. I've not known anything quite like how it is now. Everything's so positive. There's such a good vibe around the place. Charlie is so approachable with the players. I think they feel comfortable around him, and the biggest difference is the confidence. At the minute, they're going into every game thinking we're going to smash teams, and I don't think that's been the case since I've been here. It's a completely different environment, and it happened. It changed almost overnight since Dave's come in. To be fair to him, he deserves all the praise in the world. I know people often say, look at the quality of the squad that he's got, and it should be easy, but it's not that easy. And he's completely changed the place. It's a really Carrington's a really good place to work at the minute, not just for the players, but for like the media team, the coaching staff. Everyone's really happy.
Yeah.
Well, you're already causing shockwaves on the airwaves, Liam. After hearing Liam's voice for so long, his face doesn't look how I'd imagined. Get in touch, Jack.
Yeah.
Let us know what you expected.
Sorry to disappoint.
To be fair, though, when we first started streaming, someone messaged in and said I looked exactly how they thought I would, and I don't know how to take that.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit? But
yeah, so I mean that's good. I mean, one quote I have heard is all the right tools in the box, and Charlie's getting the best out of the tools now. What's just to go into it very slightly, what's frightening for me is he's not really got his own players in yet. They're all players from previous regimes. I think. Research isn't a thing we do on here, but I'm just going off memory. I think it's Johnson and Hippolyte are his only two, perhaps.
Yeah, no, that's the case. Obviously, he's worked with Jono before. I think he'll have come across Miles when managing Hartlepool this season. But yeah, I mean, you talk about the right tools. I think it is a good squad that's been put together. Credit goes to Simon Wilson for that to an extent as well. But Charlie's come in and like you say, he's not changed the system either. That's the thing. It's the same formation, but he's getting the best out of it. The biggest thing he's changed for me, and it's kind of like the squad mantra since he's come in. You'll see it plastered all over the place. Is our identity equals intensity, and that's been the biggest difference for me. The intensity that we play out. They train with that same intensity every single day, and that's why you can see that with the fittest team in the league by a distance now, and the amount of running the lads do and the way that we press. It's pretty staggering to watch at times.
Yeah.
Identity equals intensity might be the earliest we've actually found the podcast title.
Yeah. What are we on? 6 minutes past. I think that's a record. Write it down. Remind me later about that.
Done it, mate. Done it. Underlined and everything.
But that intensity, when you talk about fitness and intensity, obviously it is fitness and stamina that keeps that up. That can be transferable to every division. So say if we do go up this season, in League Two, you still got that intensity. It doesn't change, does it? You're still fitter than players that are on the same pitch as you.
Yeah,
so that, again, that's scary as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think the players that we've got are of a League Two standard at the least anyway. So I think if we do manage to get out of this division, then the sky's the limit. The hardest part is getting out of this fucking league. I'll be honest with you. It's the one promotion place is just a killer, isn't it? And because we're playing catch up a little bit as well. There's that small margin for error. I think I said to Charlie the other week in one of his interviews, you can tell it's that small margin for error because you go on a club record 10 wins in a row. You find yourself 2-0 down at home to Chesterfield, and all of a sudden everyone's going shit, like panicking a little bit because every drop point is going to feel like a disaster at this point because we're playing catch up.
Yeah,
or we're playing catch up, obviously.
Yeah.
Imagine how different the mood would have been if we'd been 2-0 up against Chesterfield and we'd been the ones to let it slip. It's just a totally different perspective.
We wouldn't have celebrated the way they did, would we? So
no, definitely
that's
not.
The thing.
Exactly.
Talk about mentality. There's no way the lads, even if, I could maybe understand it if it had been 0-0 when the red card happened and they'd hung on, but they were 2-0 up. There's no way our lads would have celebrated throwing away a 2-0 lead like that.
Chesterfield behaving weirdly. Oh, I'm never having that.
Don't get me started.
So just before we get into Chestnut, then just to say hello to everybody that's joined us live. We've got a lot live now at the moment, more than usual. So cheers everyone, all the usual names. So thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't already, please do subscribe and give us a like. And if you're listening on the podcast back, do follow us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Chestnut then. I know it seems quite a long time ago now, but it was only on Saturday we played Cheshunt, and again, I wouldn't say like a marquee performance, but it was tidy, and we'll come on to Cody Johnson in a minute because that's my word for Cody Johnson. It just seemed routine, tidy, and we got there in the end.
Yeah, I think obviously 9 changes to the team as well, so it's an opportunity for some of the other lads to show what they can do. Maybe a little bit fortunate in the opening minutes. I think we started a bit slowly. Obviously, Ethan Ross had to make a couple of big saves, Yeah, I think we settled into our rhythm. I think that can happen when you're making 9 changes and these lads haven't played that often. There's going to be a little bit of rustiness, but I think they settled into a rhythm. I think Miles Hippolyte really grew into the game as it went on, and then Ben Whitfield coming on at half time really upped the ante a little bit and got the goal. And then even after the red card, I don't think we ever really looked like conceding.
No, and all these little pluses that you're dropping in as well. I mean, it's easy to gloss over them, isn't it? Like Ben Whitfield coming back, getting minutes. It's like a new signing, isn't it? You know,
he's had 45 minutes under Charlie. 45 minutes he's played for so far.
Yeah, and Hippolyte seems to have just slotted in nicely. I think Charlie mentioned it on last night's post match, or you mentioned it to him, and he elaborated on it.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant yesterday. Covered every blade of, well, not grass, AstroTurf, weren't it? But you know, it was. But yeah, box to box, he pressed high and he's just slotted in really well, and that's credit to Charlie as well, because that's not usually his position. He's usually a winger or a 10 or a forward, but he's slotted into that midfield 3 instead of Sars. Played a different role to Sars, which I think Charlie said has actually benefited us because it's a bit more. He's got the legs in midfield. He'll trap back. He'll press forward. I thought he was really good and a big part of us winning yesterday.
So, what was that role last night? Because I didn't go, and it was hard. There's like a pecking order, isn't there? When you're consuming a match, you're either at the match, the next one's the radio, the next one's probably Sam on Twitter, then the next one's asking a mate in the pub, and then the next one's club call. It's really difficult. It's really difficult, isn't it? So, what sort of role did he play compared to Sars? Because is he not? You've got Collar and Crowsdale in central midfield. Was he not further ahead of
a little bit at times, but then at the same time, sometimes he was the furthest back. I think with Sars, it's a little bit more like Sars does a lot of the underrated things in terms of keeping us ticking, keeping us on the ball, doing the simple things right, and getting that transition from midfield to attack. Hippo was just, he honestly, he was everywhere. He was tracking back, winning the ball. He was getting forward. He linked up really well with Ryan Rydell down the left-hand side. That was a really promising partnership. He's got an eye for a pass. He got in the box a lot more in the second half as well. And it was his pressing alongside Paddy that led to the second, winning the ball back and Quiggs going on and smacking it into the top corner. So, yeah, I think Charlie was full of praise for him after the game.
I mean, I think there was a bit of an underwhelming reception to his signing. As Simon Lomas has pointed it out, astute signing, covers a lot of bases for us. Not every signing has to be for big money to add value. It's absolutely spot on. And the fact he can play 3 or 4 different roles, it's just invaluable. It's exactly the sort of signing. I think we're done for big name signings as far as I'm concerned. It is just adding that little bit of those utility players now.
Yeah,
that's it.
And you know, that's what Challinor was really good at Hartlepool last season. He didn't have a lot to spend. He had to go out and buy smart or buy savvy. And with Miles, I think the big things that, if you look at the quotes when we did sign him, the big things that they hit on were versatility and energy in midfield, and he's brought all those things definitely.
Scunthorpe weren't too happy to lose him either. I mean, my father-in-law is a Scunthorpe fan, and he said he's pretty much the only player they've got who can play more than one position. It's pretty much as though they're just resigning themselves to non-league football next season.
Yeah, well, I think in December it's I think he got nominated for League Two Player of the Year, Player of the Month. Sorry, so
right.
You know, and when you're playing for the team rock bottom of the league, that's no easy feat either, is it? So
he's definitely a league player, isn't he? So it gives me a warm feeling inside that he's come to us, and he's probably been told about the project and what we're doing, and he's thought, well, yeah, I'm probably going to be in non-league for a short amount of time, hopefully, and then he's back in the league with the other lads. Let's touch on Cody Johnson then on Saturday. 16 years old, came on. I think Charlie mentioned, you know, they spoke about giving him the ball early so he could have a touch. The touch was, and I did it in the ground, and then Sam Byrne tweeted it later. The touch was a Cruyff turn that sent 2 of their players into the pop side. I mean, that's just great, isn't it?
Brilliant. Yeah, I cover the academy most Wednesdays this season, and the lads there, they absolutely rave about him. He had some time out on Stockport Town on loan earlier in the season with Matt Jansen, and Matt Jansen raves about him. He does all the simple things right, and he's just got that confidence. What I really liked about him was throughout the 90 minutes, he was always asking for the ball, even in tight spaces. And the senior lads had the confidence to give it him in tight spaces as well, which says a lot from what they've seen in training as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it it was just a joy to watch. And the only sort of sour note is we had I say sour note, sort of negative really, is we had Mark Brockbank on the show last week, and that's not the negative. We love Mark. He can come back on, but he knows a lot about the academy, and he said obviously with the setup we've got at the moment, clubs can just come and pick our players because there's nothing keeping them here. That's got to be a danger, surely.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that'll remain the case until we get back in the Football League. Unfortunately, until at the minute we have to wait until players are 18 and they sign a pro contract before we can protect them. Luckily, we managed to do that with Jack Inchy, and then got a big fee for him. So that's the model we want to go at. Once we're in the league, we have a little bit more protection there, and we can sign these players on in pre-contract terms. But for now, yeah, that is the danger. I think John was a bit worried, John Kieran, after the game on Saturday, that he'd maybe bigged him up too much, and all of a sudden Aston Villa were going to come calling for him or something. So yeah, that's always the danger we've got to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean that's football, isn't it? I mean you can't like sort of judge a player off one match, but if that's anything to go by in terms of his all round game and the potential that's there, then that's really exciting for me.
Well, Russ, you used the one word to describe him, tidy. I'm going to extend to three words, and I'll see what you think. Football manager regen.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
Cody Johnson is just peak regen name.
Yeah, I had a Bob Letizia once. I thought that was peak regen.
Yeah. Never seen another Letizia, have you?
No. Are you a Football Manager player, Liam? On those long trips?
Yeah. Big time.
Good man. Good. So the references won't be lost on you then. That's good.
No.
That's good.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for the past 7 years. So yeah, Cheshunt. I thought Cheshunt were pretty good, to be fair. I thought they tried to play football. I know there was an element of me towards the start of the second half thinking they could nick it here. It could be that smash and grab that that Henry, who we had on a couple of weeks ago, Cheshunt fan mentioned, but we managed to get past it in the end. Did you do commentary for that, by the way, Liam? I didn't. I was at the match, so
no, it was Sam Byrne for that one.
Was it Sam?
Last night,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, so what did you make of the match overall in terms of their ability compared to us? Because the two divisions below us.
Two divisions. I thought they were good, to be fair. I think very like. I don't want to sound patronising, but like your very traditional non-league team, very well drilled, very well organised. The big lad up front in Rowan Liebird, who was a handful. He scored against us in the past for Hereford and Guiseley. So they were always going to be a danger. How many times have we, like Larkhall earlier in the season, it's the biggest. They were advertising it as the biggest game in their club's history before the game. So it's the first they've ever got in the competition. So they're obviously going to be fired up for it. They're obviously going to want it. And, to be fair to County, like I say, we weathered that early storm, but I do think we were always in control of the game. It was just a case of getting the goal.
Yeah, I think once you get the goal, then obviously it's that classic. They've got to come out. Then they've got to go for something. So it'd probably end up if we'd have got that earlier, it might have been a different story.
And the lad that came off the bench as well for them, absolutely rapid in behind and did cause us issues, to be fair. I mean, obviously they led to the red card. There was an incident just before that where Ethan came flying out, didn't he, and took a clattering. And then the same thing happened with Ben soon after he came on as well. So it did cause us issues running off the back of Hogs and Keno, but we saw it through in the end. So just going back to Cody though as well, shouldn't miss out Josh Edwards as well. Was really good in the first half. Scott Holding in the last round, and it's great to see all these young lads getting a chance, because there's a lot of work going in behind the scenes with like Damien Allen, Michael Rains, Paul Turnbull. They're getting a proper education, and it's good to see that flourishing, to be fair.
Yeah, as we touched on last week, it's good to see there's actually a pathway for these players to the first team as well. Hopefully, if big clubs do come knocking, they might think, well, I've got it good here. I'm getting a bit of football, and with the facilities we've got, why not stay and develop here? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and as well, I think what's really good is that the tutors they've got, these lads, they're not just any old coaches. They're players that have been through that process themselves. They've actually they've trodden that path, haven't they? In real life. So you can't that experience. You can't. There's nothing better than that. So They're in good
It's
hands.
not just about the highs, is it? It's about the lows as well. And I think with the coaching staff they've got there, they're going to learn everything they need, I think.
Yeah.
You're not just learning about being a footballer. You're learning about what it means to be like proper county from people like Paul Turnbull. Then you can't ask for more. Can't ask for a better role model.
I want Paul Turnbull to tell me what it takes to be proper county. Paul, if you're listening, come on down.
Ethan Ross is sending off. Obviously, that leaves us in a bit of a predicament, and we signed Ashby Hammond, I think his name is. Younger brother of the keeper who was at Boreham Wood, I think.
Boreham Wood on loan, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen him yet? Have you seen him train or anything like that?
Saw him train at Oxford City. Looked really sharp, to be fair. Really impressive. He met the lads down there, obviously, because he was travelling up from Fulham, but he seems to have settled in really quickly. Obviously, only here for a month, but it's important to have that cover because Ethan picked up an injury as well now. So even though he served his suspension, he's still unavailable. If Ben wakes up with COVID all of a sudden, then all of a sudden you've got Liam Hogan in that. So
I said it'd be Hogan. So someone mentioned it on one of the message boards. Said, "Who do you reckon our designated keeper is?" Then if we've not got on the bench, and I said, "I bet it's Hogan."
Yeah, I think Hogs was a keeper until he was about 14. So
really,
yeah. So I think it would probably be him, but obviously Luke has come in. He doesn't. Chelly's never going to play a keeper on the bench in a league game. That's just not what he does. He'll only ever do it for cup games because they're one-off games, and there's more at stake in those games. So they'll always throw a keeper on for a cup, but never for the league.
It's
same as me on Football Manager.
Really? Oh, yeah. Is that because you can only name 5? If you can name 7, as in the Football League, would he use one of those as a keeper spot?
Yeah, I think he would. I think he did at Hartlepool earlier in the season. I think it's more with the 5 subs. It's risk and reward, isn't it? So it's 5 subs. It's difficult, isn't it? Because
So HB has asked. The question is: Does Hogan have a goalkeeper shirt made up for him? Asking for famous shirt fancier Ben Walker.
Fancier,
because I think he'll be halfway there now trying to find it.
I don't think he does, but I'll ask Richard Landon next time I see him to mock one up. So.
Just mock one up, post a picture of it, tag Ben Walker in it, and then bury it somewhere.
Yeah, and name your price.
All the money goes to Chesterfield's frost covers.
Oh, let's not make it all about Chesterfield. Come on, we've got our own shit to sort out, haven't we? So next round of the cup, then. Loving that mug. If people obviously if people on the audio podcast can't see this, Liam's got the new Charlie mug. Loving that.
I'm all about brand placement, me.
Available in the club shop and online.
Yeah. If I'd have had a bit more notice, I'd have had Vita plastered in the background. So ran out of time. So.
I forgot what I was going to say then. Next round of the cup, we've got Needham Market away. Again, I think 2 divisions below us in the Central League.
Yeah, lowest ranked side left. So
which it's nice getting all these lower ranked sides, isn't it? Because I still think with Needham Market we've got to be careful because they've already beat 2 teams from our division, I think, in the cup. So it's no easy task.
Yeah, no, I think Yeovil and Whelan, I think they beat. So that won't be easy, especially going there as well. I'm not sure what state their pitch will be like. It'll be difficult, but we've had a couple of easy draws in the trophy, but in the FA Cup it was quite the opposite, weren't it? So I don't know this. I'm just guessing, but once we're at the quarterfinal stage, I don't know whether he might start playing a stronger team when we go there now, and no messing about. 2 wins from Wembley.
Do you think it'll depend on when the Notts County game gets rescheduled for? Because if that comes 3 days after Needham Market, that might affect
possibly,
the process a bit. Yeah. Well, obviously Notts have got the Dover game to rearrange first, and that passed by in non-controversial fashion at all. No one seems all that bothered by that.
It's just so non-league, isn't it? Did you see the owner with the weather report that he'd printed off? Like,
I have little time for Dover at the best of times, and it's just I'll be very glad when we won't have to encounter him again after this season anyway. We're done regardless.
No, but it'd be nice to have, 2 leagues between us, wouldn't it? So
yeah, just safe distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you'd expect that if we played anything near a strong enough team, our strongest side, and we turned up and put in a performance, that should see us through that tie, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, if the Notts County game does get put back to that Tuesday immediately after, then I think, Charlie said last Thursday, he said that the priority will always be the league game. But we'll just do what we did this week and win both.
Yeah. I know, it's great, isn't it? I know.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about.
That's it. That's the thing with Charlie's sort of pre and post match. I just love his analysis of it and his honesty and his just the way he's so confident. It's spreading out into everybody, I think.
Yeah, there's still that appetite for constant improvement as well.
Yeah,
and he knows where it is. It's not a matter of I'll have to get in training and see what's happening. He knows as soon as the game's finished, that's it. He knows what he's working on the next day. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what always impresses me the most. He's never fully satisfied. Like yesterday, I knew what I was doing. I teed him up for it. Like I said, close to the perfect away performance. Yes. I knew he was going to say, well, we conceded, so no, it wasn't. That's what I like about him. He'll never be satisfied, and he'll never let the players drop the standards as a result of that. So we're in safe hands there.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I was expecting him to get you in a headlock, start going, no, it wasn't the perfect performance. So that's Cheshunt and that's the FA Trophy. So we'll park that until that comes round again, which is in a few weeks. On to Bromley then, last night. I put out a question last night, albeit after we were 2-0 up, just saying, did anybody expect this? 99% of the comments come back, apart from yours, Nick, obviously. But everybody pretty much said, didn't expect that. I was hoping for a draw. I thought it'd be a much tougher game than it was. And listen to it on the radio, listen to yourself and JK. Straight from the off, it just sounded like we were on the front foot.
Yeah, look, we just didn't give them the ball. We didn't let them have it for a minute, really. I was surprised as well because, like you, I thought it'd be a tough game. I was like, maybe take a point. Probably not off the back of drawing with Chesterfield. I always thought 4 points from those 2 games would be good. If you'd have told me we'd have to play without SARS for those 2 games and take 4 points, then I'd definitely have took it. Yeah. But it was the way that we won. It was so convincing. It was probably our best, certainly second half, our best performance in the league under Challoner, which is a pretty high bar anyway. The best home record in the division, and they didn't get a kick. I think part of that was because of how they played. I think they wanted us to let them have the ball to an extent. And they were trying to wait for a mistake, but the mistake never came. To be fair, it was a spot on performance from everyone for 90 minutes.
I've got in fact, can you carry on talking amongst yourselves? I've got a comment from their forum. All right, because I'm the type of weirdo who goes on forum.
Right. I haven't got time for that.
for some perspectives, the Bromley fans, considering they're one of the smaller sides in the league and in amongst the playoffs, they're not happy. They're not a fan of the manager they've got there, who's turned down 2 Football League clubs to stay there. So what they've said, for some perspective last night, Stockport were excellent. They're money bags and have a quick, strong, big side of league quality who were well drilled and didn't give us a sniff. In Madden and Quigley, they have 2 strikers who took all the chances they were presented. For my money, they're the best team we'll play this season, and their results suggest they will win the league, unless Boreham Wood can go on an insane run. In fact, Stockport would be over the hill and far away if they hadn't pissed away half the season, but at least they moved to Challoner when they did, and Wrexham didn't, and that should make all the difference. I genuinely think this Stockport side could be second in League 2, below Forest Green, so the gulf last night came as little surprise. Firstly, at Forest Green, whoa. What, second? We want 2 titles in a row.
We're better than Forest Green. I won't worry about that. It's a strange one, and watching them play last night, if that's how they play most weeks, I can understand why. It was passive. I thought they'd have more of a go. It's a huge game for them. They can go within 2 points of us if they win with a game in hand, and then they didn't have a go until they were 3-0 down. To be fair, to first half, they managed us quite well. We had a lot of the ball, a lot of territory in the final third, but didn't really. It was half chances in the first half up until we scored, really. But with the quality we've got up front with Paddy Madden and Scott Quigley, I think was always we were always going to get a chance, weren't we? And we did, and then the game plan fell apart from there for them.
One thing I did notice from the commentary was how deep Michael Cheek was playing. One of the best strikers in the league, and that was a common theme from the Bromley forum as well. That he's one of the best natural goal scorers in the league, and they've basically got him in midfield. Essentially, he's dropping that far back.
Well, yeah, earlier in the season when they came to us, they were actually playing him as a number 10 behind Alabi, which is bizarre for the Golden Boot winner last year. And they played him up front on Tuesday, but to be fair, we had so much of the ball, he was having to drop so deep. There was one point he got fouled on the edge of the Bromley penalty area, and it was Liam Hogan tracking him all the way up the other end of the pitch that fouled him. So I think that was just a sign of how high up the pitch we were playing. I think Macca and Ryan Rydell were essentially playing as wingers rather than wing backs. And they couldn't get out, to be fair.
Yeah, any team that's done well against us tends to sort of quell Macca and Rydell, don't they? And if that's the case, that Bromley in fourth position at the start of the night didn't do that, that's really poor, really. Isn't it? I mean, well, it's poor to let them just roam, isn't it? And be so passive. Do you think, based on Boreham Wood's sort of what we know about Boreham Wood, are they the same? Are they quite passive? Because they don't concede many, but they don't score many either.
When we went there, obviously it was third game of the season under Simon Rusk, and we were the better team that day. It was 0-0. Keno hit the post. Nathan Ashmore made a great save from Alex Reid. We should have won that game coming out of the back of it. So they were very passive that day, and obviously we weren't at our best and got a point there. So yeah, I think when you look at their results, they do draw a lot of games, and when they draw, they tend to draw against the likes of Weymouth at home, teams like that, which would suggest to me maybe. I think they're very difficult to beat for the top teams because they set up well. They're very organised. We saw that in the FA Cup under Luke Garrard. But going forward, I think if a team sits in against them, I think they struggle to break them down 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, not quite got that ruthlessness of a county, really.
They've lost Chimanga in the summer as well. Let's not forget, which is a massive blow. If they had him up front, then I really would be worried about them right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably have a separate podcast about our rivals, but obviously they're the only ones that can overtake us now, I think. And with their fixture pile up, they could only name 5 subs for the FA Cup game. I think they're thin on the ground. It's looking good. It's looking good, isn't it?
Because I'm not worried about Chesterfield. Even before we played them last week, I don't think Chesterfield are going to last. I don't think they'll keep up. They've already started faltering a bit. I mean, we're not going to win every game. Let's be honest. As much as we like to think there'll probably quite possibly be a defeat in there, but the defeat could come in that final 4 games, and we could have already won it by then. That's how it's just mental. It's absolutely bonkers. But it's like people have mentioned in the comments as well. The players getting involved in the songs and with the fans at the end. It's like 2019 on speed. It's mental.
Yeah,
it's just the fact everyone's bought into it. It's so obvious. It's so obvious from outside, and that's what fans of other teams are saying as well. Just from watching highlights, and you can see that the players have bought into it. There, that's a big gripe of Wrexham fans. They said they don't feel like half of their players are bothered.
Really,
they don't think half of their players understand what it means to represent a club like that. Well, we're sorted, thanks. I mean, I must admit, when we signed Madden, I thought it was a great signing, but I thought, is he buying into what we're doing? Well, bloody hell, he is. Oh my word, absolutely sensational.
Player of the year for me so far, Paddy. I think he's the only one that's done it consistently over the course of the entire season. I think he's brilliant. He's 15 goals, but he's so much more than a goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah,
back. There was one point where he picks it up on the edge of our penalty area after a corner for them, and just played the most unbelievable pass in between the lines for Ryan Rydell to run onto, and all of a sudden we're on the counter attack. He's a level above most players on the pitch in this league. You can see that every time he's on the ball. Same with Sars, to be fair. The vision that they have is pretty frightening.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of Madden when he played for both Scunthorpe and Fleetwood, and I'd go when we're in League 2 next season, it'll still be a step above that as well, because he's just ultra quality.
Yeah, well, I think he's 3 or 4 goals away from the League 1 all-time high goal scorer record. So, he'll break that with us if we're quick. So,
gotta move on.
Well, there's nowhere with Madden. There's no there's no sort of the big I am with it. He does all the running as well. He does all the hard work. He runs non-stop every single game for the full game.
Gritty,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's a grafter, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. That the assist for Quigley to put us up against Bolton in extra time.
Yeah,
I would say assist of the season, but it's right up there for me. It really is. It's right up there against a League One defence. So yeah. Anything more about the Bromley game? Anything stick out? I mean, well, we've not seen the goals yet. In fact, I wanted to ask you, Liam. You don't do the editing for the goals, do you? That's
Stan Powell.
That's Dan in it. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So none of us have, unless you went. I don't think it's been out on anywhere else. What was Quigley's goal like?
I've seen it back, to be fair. It's brilliant. So Paddy and Miles both press on the halfway line, pinch the ball off Chris Bush, and Quiggs just gets it. He runs to, I'd say, about 20 yards out, and then he just there's no other way of putting it. He twats it into the top corner, just like absolutely puts his foot through it. The keeper's got no chance, and it's when you see it back on the replay, we're behind it, so you don't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but when you see it back up from Dan's view, the pace that he's hit it at, it absolutely flies in. So, but to be fair, Paddy's second was every bit as good for me technically.
Right.
It's throw into the box. It got flicked on by Quiggs, and he's hooked it on the half volley over his shoulder into the opposite top corner. It was 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock. The highlights go out, so it's worth a watch.
Nice.
Yeah, can't wait. I did notice in your interview with Charlie where he said he didn't know Quigley could kick it that far. that was a perfect opportunity for you to counter with. He kicked it further than John Kieran goes on his holidays. So you can have that. You can have that for next time, Liam. I'll let you have that.
I'll keep that one in my back pocket. Yeah, yeah. No, but Quiggs needed that as well. He's been due a goal. I think Boxing Day, not scored since. So hopefully he's back to his best now. Definitely looked at afterwards. So.
Yeah, and I think, like Charlie said, strikers go through droughts, they go through peaks and troughs, and they just got to keep on going, haven't they? It's Taylor's oldest time, so it was going to come with the quality he's got. I just hope he kicks on from here because he'll be lethal.
Yeah, and he's another one. Even when he wasn't scoring, he was still maximum effort. You can never doubt his commitment, his effort, his shithousery is absolutely top notch.
Yeah,
Chesterfield, it's brilliant. He's a massive character, and everyone loves Quiggs. So
yeah. Anybody else stick out for you last night? Hippolyte got a lot of plaudits again. I know when we spoke about him earlier in the show. Anybody else apart from the ones we mentioned?
I thought Crosby was really good again, but I think he's been outstanding since Dave's come back in. He just breaks everything up. He's there at the edge of the box. I love a holding midfielder myself personally because I think they're so underrated, and I think he's got his goals as well in front of goal. I think he's been brilliant, and Ryan Johnson as well. Talk about astute signings from Dave Challoner. He's another one. He's slotted into that back three pretty seamlessly. Doesn't maybe offer as much as Kitchwood going forward, but in terms of when you're going into those big games against Bromley away, then he's not going to give you anything away. I thought it was really good.
Considering this time last year, the conversation a lot of us were having was, is Kitchen going to be back soon? We need Kitchen.
Yeah, we need him back. Yeah,
and now he's not even a guaranteed starter. It's to have made those strides in the year. It's brilliant.
Well, it's to be fair, I think it's rather than Ryan Johnson, that's more the emergence of Ryan Rydell. To be fair, down that left hand side, just a revelation. 20 years old as well. 21, I think he is now. It
absolutely frightens me that.
Yeah, and that's why, I know it gets a bit of stick sometimes, but sticking these players on 3-year deals, that gives us that protection. Like, how many times down the years have we seen Jimmy Ball or Danny Lloyd or Matty Warburton leaving on and we get nothing for it? I know we got a bit for Jimmy Ball, but, leaving on free because we've not got that protection. Well, we've got that now. If a player comes in for Will Collar or, Ryan Rydell, then the ball's in our court to an extent, which is a big difference.
Yeah, they'll have to pay for it, won't they?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah. Good stuff. There's my bingo. Everyone can mark that off on the county podcast bingo. Good stuff. We can't let it pass. Mini in 200 appearances. That was Chesson, was it? I think it was 200. And I think it's his birthday as well, either today or yesterday.
Well, happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday, Sam. Friend of the podcast. It's probably worth mentioning. We've mentioned it sort of sporadically. We had Sam on years ago. We were semi-pro. I don't know. I think I'm not sure he just joined the club, but he was already a good player. Not long after. And he joined us in the pub for a live. I say live show. We obviously pre-recorded. And we said to him, if we went professional, would you sign a contract? And without even skipping a beat, he went, "Yeah, I would definitely."
Did he have hair back then?
No, he didn't. No.
Somehow he had less than he does now.
Sam's a legend, and I think I always hesitate sometimes before using that word because I know some people are like, "Well, we're in non-league. Do these players count?" But for me, you can't. There's no other way of describing players like Sam Minahan, Ben Hinchliffe, Ash Palmer.
Yeah,
if we win the league this year, they'll be I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they'll be the first ever players to win 2 titles with a club. Yeah. So
and Keno as well.
Keno as well, of course. So what other category can you put them in?
Right. Yeah.
So we've got a side now with 4 club legends in it, and then come April, May, we could have another 16 or 17 to add to the list, all being well.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm not even crossing my fingers because I'm just certain it's going to happen. Like I was certain we beat Bromley last night, Russ.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I held my hands up, mate. No, but the word legend is on different levels, and I think you can have it at the lower levels and the higher levels. I think when we did the live show with Mike Flynn, when he was talking about levels, for those that were there, he was saying you've got to remember that he played in the Championship at a very good level and finished 8th, whereas we're in the National League now. But it's still, you can still have a legend at both of those levels, I think, and at any level, it's what you do for the club. And
if you excel at whatever level we're at, and fit's done it.
Absolutely.
So I've never got that school of thought that because when we get back into the league, are we just gonna never mention anyone that played for or managed us in non-league again? Well, no, obviously. So the legends.
Yeah.
Although no one's coming in the comments saying we're wrong for once, so
it's usually a good sign.
I don't know why I'm pushing this so hard. It's like people agree.
Let's move on quick. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to you, Liam. And let's talk about you because you do a lot of interviewing, and nobody ever asks you any questions, do they? So about you, and I feel like this is time for you, Liam. It's your time now. Let's get to know Liam. So how did the job come about? Because I remember seeing you at County Ladies, I think, doing bits when I was the goalkeeping coach there. How did it all come about, and how did you step up into this media executive role, which is fantastic, by the way.
Thanks. So I started as a student from university. I went to UCFB, and it was January 2019, so it was halfway through the title-winning season that I started. And we've been great since then. So I'm not saying that's correlation or causation. I don't know, but
it was a 3-year deal. 3-year deal.
So the role was advertised in my university, and straight away, obviously, I applied for it. Been watching County since I was a kid. There was no way I wasn't going to get it. So I started that alongside Jack Riley, and originally that was just to come in and kind of help out with the socials, like on a match day, so like the Instagram, the Facebook, and then just to help with the comms through the week. So I did that for about a year, just as a volunteer, basically, and then that summer, me and Jack then took over the running of the Twitter account as well on a match day, upped it, and then it was around January 2020, so about a year in, John Kieran came up to me and said, that between me and you, that there's a takeover likely to be happening. There's going to be a role there for someone to run the media. I'm going to recommend you for it. So would you be interested? So, I had a long, hard thinking. About 0.5 seconds later, I said yes. And then obviously the takeover happened, but then there was the pandemic, so that kind of held that up a little bit in terms of bringing me on full time. And then it was this time last year, to be honest, I officially went full time in my role as media executive. Still learning, still got lots of growth, but I'm loving it, to be honest. I love it every day. So it's exactly the role I went to university to get in here. So it's a dream come true.
To take us briefly through your week then. Imagine we have a Saturday and Tuesday match. What does your week consist of starting Monday?
Starting Monday will be prep for the Tuesday game. So I'll be writing stuff like the match preview, getting all the graphics ready, the stats, the team news, all that. If I'm on radio, I'll be doing my research for that. I'll be at Carrington.
Research.
Well, sometimes it doesn't show, does it?
We might try that one day.
I feel like I've done well because I'll turn up with like a page full of research, and then John brings out a big file of facts full of like about that thick.
What's it like doing co-coms with JK? That's one of the questions we've had. I mean, me we've done it, haven't we, Nick? I can't get my head around how talented he is.
I was just so in awe of the whole thing.
He's brilliant. It's pretty surreal for me because like I've been growing up listening to him commentate on County and talk about County, and all of a sudden I'm sat next to him doing it. I never really expected to be doing it. It was just in conversations with Strawberry Radio in the summer. John kind of asked me like, "Would you be prepared to help out?" So I thought I'll give it a go. But yeah, no, John's so enthusiastic for it, and he really carries you through it as well. Obviously, I was shitting it the first time I did it at Southend, but he was great, and I think he's the master. I can't ask for anyone better to learn from. He's been a real, not just in the radio, but in like media and PR. He's been a real mentor for me whilst I've been at the club. I hope he's not watching.
Yeah, he might be. He might be.
You don't watch this shit.
No, he's far too professional for that. One of the questions we have had is who's the because do you travel with JK to matches?
So John tends to make his own way these days, so it'll be me, Sam Byrne, Dan Powell. We'll travel with Lando, the kitman, down to the game.
Right, okay. In Lando's big van.
In Lando's big van, the Landomobile.
Yeah. Right, got you. Right, well, I won't ask the question then, because the question was about who's the biggest wind up in the car, you or JK. But that's irrelevant.
Oh, I read the question wrong. So,
what did you read?
I thought it was wind. Like who does the most like trumps?
Oh, yeah, no. Do you know what it is? It is that.
I was going to say, I don't think John Kieran trumps, and I also think he's smooth down there.
No, he's like the Queen, and he's never
never carries cash and never trumps.
Yeah.
And he pays £12 million to get his relatives off charges.
Just one comment coming here from Sydney Exile, just thanking you for all the socials because they do help people. Exiles keep connected with the club, and definitely second that here on the podcast. So that's preparing, and then what happens? Obviously, that's a question I wanted to ask you. Actually, do you do the Twitter while you're commentating? Surely not.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So it's it took a while. It took a while to get into the rhythm of it.
I can't believe that.
Because let's just think about that for a second. When I did the co-coms, I was so ingrained on watching what was happening on the pitch because John would come to me at some point. I knew he was going to come to me at some point, and you have to be ready to speak. So that's enough brain power for me. But to have to do buffer or whatever it is you do, because I think it's all you write it once, it goes out to all three accounts or whatever.
Yeah.
That's something else. That. Well,
yeah, it took a lot of getting used to. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes you do miss stuff, and so I'm always having to just make sure I'm listening to what John's saying, and I can kind of sometimes I have to like bullshit it a little bit. It's what you have to do because I can't type and watch at the same time, obviously. But you kind of get into the rhythm of it. Sam does similar, to be fair, Sam Byrne. Yeah. So it's just practice, I think. But
The first time I did co-commentary was the first game at Broadhurst Park where we went there, and I was on co-coms for that. And John introduced me by saying, "Oh, here's Nick with his trademark wit and wisdom." And straight away, I had like 7 of my mates text me at the same time, going, "Wit and wisdom, fuck off." So for you, that was me done for the night. Well, I couldn't concentrate on anything. So for you to be multitasking like that.
I have had to change my name on the name on my passport to Stockport. Liam Richardson, Stockport County's media man. That's just my name now. That's all anyone ever introduces me as these days. So.
Like it. So what else then? So is it? I take it after a Tuesday game, get up on a Wednesday. I take it you've been in work today, or you got in late or something because it was a late night, and then you're just back at it again, preparing for the next match. Is that how it?
Yeah,
pretty much...
on a Wednesday usually I'll cover the academy at Stockport Sports Village. So either the first years or the second years are always playing at home. They weren't today, thankfully, so that would have been an early get up. But so I'll cover the academy, then I'll come home. And then start prepping for Saturday. So I'll do the interview with Dave on a Thursday, so I have to start prepping for that, getting my questions ready. Again, the match preview needs doing. Thursdays are always our media days at Carrington, so that's when we'll get everything done, all the video content that we do and stuff like that, all the getting to knows, all the who am I's, or that kind of thing. We'll always do those on a Thursday. So it's Wednesday's more about prepping for that, and then Thursday's about putting it into place. And then Friday I'm usually traveling. So
right. So the getting to knows then. Shall we do getting to know Liam Richardson?
That is smooth, mate. God, you're good at this.
I know. It's not even my full-time job either. But anyway, I've nicked some of your video, so hopefully you don't mind. But I'm only going to use it for you, and then it's going to go. So, are you ready for this? So let's pick the first one. Let's go. So, just wait, but before you answer, for those that are on the audio podcast, that said, what was the first game that Liam went to? And I'm probably going to have to say that after every video.
You didn't think this through,
no, I didn't. But anyway, yeah, go on. What's your first game?
First game was at County. It was with my dad. I can't remember the year it was, but we were playing Huddersfield at Edgeley Park. We won 2-1. We were 1-0 down at half time. I think John Daly scored. I can't remember who else scored in the game, but that's the first game I remember going to with my dad.
Yeah, I think you're right. John Daly scored. Andy Welsh, I think, tore them a new one because he was really fast that day. And I went to the match with a Huddersfield fan who was my mate, and he said if it weren't for Andy Welsh, they'd have come out away. That I think they got relegated that season as well. So there you go.
They were the days.
Yeah, yeah. When someone else got relegated. Yeah. Right. Okay. Nice one. Okay. Let's pick another one. They're not all football related, which is good. Okay,
well, he writes them, so he knows.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I've not clipped all of the questions. Is what I'm saying. I can't ask Liam who's the best player he's ever coached. Can I? You know.
Who's the footballiest footballer you've ever met? That's what we're reduced to.
Come on, let's crack on. Best friend in football.
That's a tough one because I've got to choose now. The ones I hang around with the most outside of football are Sam Byrne and Dan Powell, and I think they both suit with me if I pick the other one. So I'll sit on the fence and say both of them.
Nice.
People in the comments are quite certain that you and Sam are the same person.
Yeah, we have had that.
You being on here has done nothing to dispel that.
I can't wait to tell him that. He'll be fuming. So,
okay, let's carry on. What's your guilty pleasure?
I'll get pelters for this. I do occasionally go and watch Chelsea play.
Oh, do you? We've got some in our fan base that do that.
Yeah. Growing up as a kid, my favorite footballer, first footballer I can remember really liking watching was Gianfranco Zola. I was a centre half as a kid, so I always used to love watching John Terry play, and then it just built from there. And now, because obviously going to County is work, I can't go as a fan and get pissed and have a chant and have a sing.
Yeah.
So I do occasionally go to Chelsea and do it there because I get the opportunity to just be a fan, which you miss sometimes when the amount of times I've watched the Cheadle end or Bolton away and just thought, God, I'd rather be there than where I am. So
maybe we should do like a media takeover. We'll come and do your job on a Saturday, and you can do this on a Thursday. Then you can get on the piss on a Saturday.
I'll have the drum. Yeah, that'd be.
Love it. Okay. Favorite film?
I'd probably go with the Shawshank Redemption.
Nice,
strong
yes.
choice. Yeah. Like everyone says that, don't they? But it's definitely my favorite. Yeah.
It's the film that people who don't watch films say is the favourite film, but it's my favourite film as well.
I do watch a lot of films, but yeah, no, that is my favourite.
Yeah,
Fair
same.
enough. Sticking with that theme. Most recent thing on Netflix.
So I've just finished the first series of The Sinner with Bill Pullman in. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yes, I've not watched it yet.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like my crime kind of stuff like that. So yeah, no, I enjoyed that.
Nice. Might give it a watch. Okay, and then we've got the last one is.
I'm leaning in now.
Oh no, I knew this was going to come up, and again, I get ripped to shreds for this on the coach, and you're going to think I'm right weird, but I don't listen to music. I don't listen to music. I don't have a favorite song. I don't have a favorite artist. I get so much stick for it on the coach, but just not my. I'm always listening to podcasts instead.
Well,
so,
luckily, people have said this to me before that they don't like music. If you've been the first person to say it, I'd have fallen off my chair. But people have said before, I've made them like playlists and stuff, and they've just been, what are you doing this for? I don't like music. So that's fair enough. Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't read books, and people have the same.
No, Russ, you can't read books.
No. Right, that's all I had. So that's I quite enjoyed that. And how was that for you? Because obviously you do all the interviewing for these, don't you? I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I prefer asking the questions.
Fair enough. I did like Dave Conlon's artist song one when he said it's got to be Oasis or Stone Roses, and I was like, you can come in, you can come to my bar anytime you want, and we'll play some. We'll have a beer and play some
jukebox.
Yeah, and have a beer and talk footy and play those. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I keep on using good stuff, don't I? I need to stop that.
No, keep doing it, mate. Keep doing it. Give the people what they want.
Do you know what, Liam? It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me. Anytime.
Cheers for that. We will get you back on at some point, and we'll look forward to that. Before we go, have we got anything else, Nick? A bit of admin.
Yes, admin wise, I am just going to find it. So sadly, young Aidan Waters passed away recently, big county fan. Obviously, our condolences go to his family and friends, and there's going to be a 23rd minute applause on Saturday. So if you could spread the word, tell your mates. So everyone, a nice little tribute for Aidan there. Yeah,
absolutely. The other stuff, the kids show's still out, so you can watch that. They'll be back. Hopefully, got some other contributors to that who've shown an interest. So that's something that we'll be doing, and then we have got a live show coming up, but we'll give you details about that in due course. We're just trying to sort that out, and then we have got coming up soon as well the special fan show, which we'll expand on later. But we're going to start doing a series of sort of fans that have supported the club for a long time, and they can come on and tell their story, or a family member can come along and tell their story. So that should be interesting. Probably get into some details that we just do not know about because it was all before our time, which will be pretty good. So that'd be nice. HB again, the next fan march is coming soon too. So look out for details on that. Obviously, we'll share that as that comes along. The last one was really, really good. I think it got loads of
media coverage on Northwest Tonight.
Yeah.
I let BBC know about it. Made sure they were on Castle Street for it because it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was brilliant.
Nice,
really well done.
It's very continental. I think I saw. I'm not going to go through the comments to find it now, but I'm sure HB said it was going to be for the Notts County game whenever it. And the aim is to make it bigger and better than the Chesterfield one, which might be a stretch, but if anyone can do it, HB can, and county fans can. That's my rallying cry.
Yeah. It's a really good initiative though, and getting all the fans together and getting them indoctrinated into what it means.
Make it sound like a cult.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Handmaid's Tale.
It's brilliant. I think John was saying that the last time we had marches like that were protest marches. So it's just a complete turnaround in the club, isn't it? So
no other march is just a show off.
Yeah,
we are the best.
Look how great we are. Yeah.
Today's LP for people, for Ian Dowden, who see, I don't message Ian Dowden and tell him to ask. He asks off his own. This will mean nothing to Liam, but it's the streets. A grand don't come for free today, which features Dry Your Eyes is on it.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully we won't be doing in May.
Well, I might. If we go up, I'm going to cry.
Oh God, I will.
Seriously, tears of joy. But I'm pretty certain I'm going to cry if we go up.
We'll cry together, mate.
Let's do that.
Laugh. Because of all the shit teams we've left behind. Going, you lot took one hell of a beating.
Yeah, I mean, but just one final thing: training Oxford City's ground, using them as a training base rather than having to play them. That's just great, isn't it?
Yeah,
feels so good.
Really does. But we need to go up this season because Brackley are top of the National League North, so I'm not going there again, ever again.
Yeah. Well, we do, and the others will just get stronger. Wrexham will be a force next season, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
A couple of quick comments before we go. The Streets underrated band. They've won multiple awards and stuff, so I don't think they really count as underrated. And HB from Stockport to host a fan march on Castle Street. Properly, please. Must not, I repeat, not turn into an all-night rave. If you get that, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Rusty's going to message me at like 3 a.m. going, I've just got it.
Yeah.
I probably will, actually. I might ask you to explain it afterwards. Right. Genuinely, because I don't know what you got about. Right. Okay. Let's not do that here, because that's not very good podcasting, is it? Anyway, I just don't get it. Right, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Right, Liam, thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you to everybody that has watched live. There's been lots of people, more than normal. So that must be you again, Liam. You're obviously some sort of like victory magnet or something, you know.
Everyone just wanted to see what I look like. So, next time I'm on, it'll be back to normal. So.
They stayed for the whole hour, though. They saw what you look like, and they obviously like it. Your milkshake definitely brings all the county fans to the yard. I need to stop referencing music.
Hey! Cheers, thank you. And with that, we will say good night, goodbye, see you next week. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
This is the Scarf Bagara War, a Stockport County fan-created podcast, blog, YouTube live show and website. Find us at thescarfbagarawar.co.uk. For county fans, by county fans.